Hey everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to a video where we're going to break down the bonuses for the Gaul Civilization. Now in these videos I do my best to break down the civ in the quickest and most concise way possible while still giving tons of details that you probably didn't catch in the video itself, and also giving some opinions on where I think and how useful I think the civilization will be. So let's dive into it.
Gaul's powerful unique ability is called Eilstadt culture. It allows mines to provide a minor adjacency bonus for all districts, culture bomb unknown territory, and grant additional culture. The downside to this power is that specialty districts cannot be built next to the city center and do not receive adjacency bonuses from other districts.
So Gaul's unique ability is Eilstadt culture, and there's 4 component parts to this, so what I'm going to do is break each one of them down. So the first one is that mines can culture bomb unowned territory. Now, an important thing to mention is that my interpretation of this is that you will not be able to grab territory from other civilizations. So if you do culture bomb, I think it'll have to be territory which is currently unowned, as obviously that suggests. But this will be very useful anyway, because early on, as Gaul, as we'll see as we go through this, you're going to need to grab as much land as possible. You're going to need to have more land than you usually do. So being able to culture bomb everywhere you build a mine, and let's remember, Gaul, because of their bonuses, is going to have a start bias towards lots of hills and lots of terrain where you can build mines. So you're going to be able to grab a lot of terrain with this, a lot of land with this, and that is going to be very important. Now the second part of this bonus is that mines also receive +1 culture. Now I'm kind of mixed on this. Like, I'm positive it's good, and it does set the trend that, you know, a lot of Gaul's bonuses are culture based, but it's not that strong throughout the game. So early on in the game, when other civilizations are not producing much culture at all, before they've got theatre squares up and all that stuff, +1 culture from every single mine is undoubtedly going to be useful to you, and it's going to help you have a really nice culture advantage. But obviously later on in the game, because it still sticks at +1, this is not going to be so strong. But overall, it's still nice, and it will allow you early game to have a head start in culture. So the next 2 parts of this bonus are pretty major and are going to affect how you build your cities basically. So the first bit to this is that mines provide adjacency bonus for all districts. Now I'm pretty pleased to see this, because in my video where I first reacted when Gaul and Byzantium were announced, I said that I think there could be something in the mine adjacency thing from the footage we saw. So, you know, I'm just glad to be right for once. No, I'm always right. No, I'm really not. But we know that from the trailer that we get +1 adjacency for every 2 mines. And we can see that it's +1 adjacency for every 2 mines, because in the trailer, the campus is surrounded by 4 mines, and therefore, as you can see on screen right now, gets a +2 adjacency bonus from them. Now this is quite exciting, because as I said, it changes the way you build your cities. Like previously, and with most other civs, you build your cities thinking about district adjacency bonuses. You think, I'm going to put this district here, this other district next to it, and as we're about to find out, you can't do that anymore. So following on from the mine adjacency bonuses, the final part to this bonus, which is not really a bonus but it's still important, is that specialty districts do no longer receive a minor adjacency bonus for being adjacent to other specialty districts. So this basically means that if you build a triangle of districts, you will no longer get an adjacency bonus from that. Now this obviously isn't ideal, and you're going to need a lot of space to get your districts built and to build them and use them effectively. However, it's not the end of the world, because as we've just seen with their other bonuses, Gaul has bonuses to combat this, with the mine adjacency bonus to still give you +2 science, +3 science, whatever, to your districts, and also with that culture bombing from building mines, you're going to be able to grab plenty of land to place your districts nicely. So, although I do miss the kind of planning cities as I usually do, I'm excited to try something different, and Gaul is certainly well shaped up to do something a little bit different. And one final thing I do want to mention is that you will still get other adjacency bonuses for things like mine and rivers where they're appropriate. It's literally just that adjacent districts no longer give each other adjacency bonuses.
Ambiorix's ability is called King of the Urbirwans. It grants Gaul additional culture based on unit cost when a non-civilian unit is trained. It also gives melee, anti-cavalry, and ranged units bonus combat strength for every adjacent combat unit.
So yes, Ambiorix leads Gaul in Civilization 6, and by the way, I literally do not know anything about this guy or really about the history of Gaul yet, but what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to do the same for Byzantium, is I'm going to do like historical looks on these two civilizations in the next week or so. So if you want to learn more about what they were like in real life and where their bonuses and stuff come from, then yeah, subscribe to the channel and I will get them videos out as soon as I can. So we can split his bonuses pretty much into two parts. So the first part is that your civilization gains culture equal to 20% of the unit's cost when a non-civilian unit is trained. And I'm pretty sure that that is production cost. So the way this is going to work is that let's give a standard horseman, for example, which costs 80 production. So for every horseman you build as Gaul, you'll be getting a bonus of 16 culture, because 20% of 80 is 16. And unlike with the mine culture bonus, what I really like about this one is that it's only going to get stronger as the game goes on. So for example, when you get to the modern era and stuff like that, a machine gun costs 540 production, and 20% of 540 is 108. So you can see that as you progress through the eras, as units become more expensive, the culture bonus you get for building non-civilian units is going to get bigger and bigger, just as the culture demands get bigger and bigger. Now I have to say, one thing I found weird about the trailer is that we saw them build an archer. Now an archer, as far as I'm aware in the standard game of Civilization 6, has a production cost of 60, and 20% of 60 is 12. So realistically, like if I'm right with this, that archer should have gave Gaul a plus 12 culture bonus. But for some reason on the trailer, it only gets plus 6, and it does look like they're playing on standard game speed. So I don't know, that's weird. Let me know if you can figure that out in the comments. But yeah, maybe go and check down there, see what other people are saying. But that really weirded me out. But either way, one thing we can definitely say about this part of the leader ability is that Gaul is going to be set up very nicely for culture production. Remember, they get +1 culture bonus for mines, and with this on top of it, you know, we're producing a lot of culture when playing as Gaul. The second half of the leader ability is that melee, anti-cavalry, and ranged units receive +2 combat strength for every single adjacent combat unit. Now, I've got to admit, I really do like these types of combat bonuses. We've seen them very recently, so we saw them with Gran Colombia, and we've also, like last week, we saw them with Byzantium. Check out the breakdown video of them if you've not seen it yet. But if you can attack in a horde-like manner with adjacency bonuses for nearby units, suddenly your combat strength shoots through the roof. For example, if you have you're attacking a unit and you have 3 other of your units around, you're going to get +6 combat strength, which early game is going to be pretty useful. In the trailer as well, we saw an archer attack with +12 combat strength from this bonus. So if you do attack in a horde-like manner, if you can surround your units with lots of other units, you're going to get very useful combat bonuses, especially early game. Perhaps one negative I'd say on this is that +2 is nowhere near as strong as +4. For example, if you have 5 units surrounding one unit with a +2 combat bonus, that's an ultimate strength bonus of +10, but if it's on +4, like we get with Gran Colombia's unique unit and like we get with Byzantium, suddenly that's +20. So there is a big difference. +2 is not as strong as +4, but in the early game it will make a notable difference to your combat.
Gaul's unique unit is called the Gauzite. It replaces the warrior and receives additional combat strength when fighting stronger units and district defenses, but is more expensive to train.
So Gaul's unique unit is the Gauzite. Now this is a unique ancient era unit that replaces the warrior, so you're getting this unit straight off the bat. Now this unit has a few things to it, so let's break them down. So first of all, the unit is more expensive. Maybe it will cost something like 60 production rather than the standard 40 production for a warrior. I'm not sure, but when you look at its other bonuses, I'm not totally convinced it's going to matter so much. So the second part to this unique unit is that it gets +10 combat strength when fighting units with a higher base combat strength. So to give you an idea, A warrior starts with a 20 base combat strength, so that is like literally every melee unit apart from other standard warriors and almost every other unit in the game where you are going to get the plus 10. So that puts it at least 30 combat strength against almost every unit in the game. But if you can utilize this bonus with the other bonuses we talked about, for example the plus 2 combat strength for every adjacent unit, we just mentioned that, you could be looking at his base strength of around 36, 38, something like that, before we apply other modifiers. For reference, a swordsman has a melee strength of 36, or a base melee strength of 36, and as you can see, if you attack in a horde, suddenly your unique warrior as Gaul is as strong as a swordsman, and it also will not require iron. So that's what I'm seeing this unit as. I'm not just seeing it as a replacement for a warrior, but I'm also thinking if I'm playing as Gaul, I'm probably not going to build swordsman either, and not having to think about that is a big relief, because getting iron can be difficult in a game of Civ 6, and I always feel vulnerable if I don't have access to swordsman. The final thing to mention is that the unit also gets plus 5 combat strength versus district defenses, meaning that if you want to capture a city or two very early on, you have a better chance of doing so. Now, don't kind of brush this off, because it could be important. As we mentioned right at the start of this video, you're going to want as much land as possible as Gaul, so if you have to swallow up another city for whatever reason, having that plus 5 combat strength is going to help, and obviously you're getting the plus 2 from adjacent units as well, so this could be useful for taking cities early on, and because you need the space, you might end up using it.
Gaul's unique district is called the Oppidum. It's not only cheaper and available earlier than the industrial zone, but also unlocks the apprenticeship technology when constructed. Highly defensible, it offers its own ranged attack and receives a major adjacency bonus from quarries and strategic resources.
So Gaul's unique district is the Oppidum. Now this district is a replacement for the industrial zone, but is cheaper and available earlier in the game. Maybe it'll be available at something like bronze working or something around that time. I'm not sure yet, I couldn't find that information. One other thing I want to mention before we jump into the direct bonuses is that when the first Oppidum is constructed within your civilization, the apprenticeship technology is unlocked, allowing you to build a workshop earlier too. So once you get access to this, you can really push production in your city on quite early if you like. So what are the big bonuses to this unique district? Well, first up, it gives plus 2 production if adjacent to a quarry improvement or strategic resource. Now, for a standard industrial zone, quarries and strategic resources only give plus 1, so this is quite a nice production bonus. One thing I really did like about this bonus was that I think it solves one possible issue this civilization could have presented, because as we saw earlier, the mines which you'd usually surround your industrial zone with are being used for your other districts, because mines give literally every single district adjacency bonus. So having access to plus 2 production if you can get it next to a quarry or a strategic resource is going to, one, allow you more flexibility in where you build it, but secondly also if you want to build a really strong industrial zone, that is going to be well within your capability as Gaul. The other major thing that this district does is it is defensible with a ranged attack, meaning that you can essentially have 2 encampments in one city. Now, presumably the city will need walls to do this, just as, you need walls for an encampment to fire at oncoming units, but 2 encampments per one city, that is going to make your civilization very, very defendable. So once you grab all that land in the early game through the culture bombing and whatever, you're going to be able to defend that territory with many, many encampments, and you are going to be a pain in the backside if somebody wants to invade you. Okay, I don't want to give too many particular tips on this civilization. I think I've already gave quite a few on our way through, but one thing I definitely say is be aggressive with your land grabbing in the early game, because you're going to need as much land as possible. So be aggressive and then just take it from there. I think this civ is going to be a ton of fun to play because of the amount of production you've got, which will allow you to do pretty much whatever you want, and I think that it will be quite a flexible civilization. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to get back to you down there. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you want to see some more Civilization 6 content from ourselves, then check out my reaction and breakdown of the Byzantine Civ in the box below. Also, make sure that you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel for plenty more Civ 6 content. My name is Alex, and I will see you in another video soon.